Good evening, everybody. Today we are going to talk about the logical or mathematical learner. What is the logical learner? The logical learner are learners that like math and science, and they have very good reasoning skills. If there's logic and reasoning and numbers involved, these learners are sure to excel. These students function and solve complex problems by employing strategies and their scientific way of thinking. Computer programming, math, and science are usually their favorite subjects. Logical learners succeed by using order, steps, and logic. These learners can make connections and recognize patterns with ease and work well with numbers. They have a very systematic approach to learning and are excellent in keeping organized. They are very organized learners. Text-heavy subjects, however, they may not be ideal for the logical learner. In order for me to explain the logical learning style, I need you to understand the characteristics that these learners portray. These students like to keep detailed planners and organizers. They are very organized students, as I said. They enjoy playing strategy-based games, such as chess. They are highly investigative and curious. They want to know the why about everything. They prefer visuals over words. They need visual aids. They need to see the subject. They are very highly goal-oriented. They see the goal and they go towards that goal, and then they accomplish the goal. They seek out rules and procedures. They need these in place. If they aren't in place, they don't feel comfortable. They may struggle writing creatively. This is like in essay writing, or they need to do a report on a history report. They struggle in this area. They may have difficulty in seeing the big picture, such as in long-term goals. In order to keep the logical learner interested and motivated, I recommend that they are encouraged to make and to design their own visuals. This helps these learners retain important information, and it creates an easy reference point for future studying, especially when they go back for revision for testing. Now, some of the study tips that are good for logical learners. These students learn best by visual materials, such as laptops, graphs, hands-on aids, hands-on projects. Be sure to provide a structured environment with a set of rules, goals, and procedures for them, as these learners can sometimes struggle with confidence if these rules are not in place. They need the rules to be there. Goals can be short-term, but make sure to encourage your child or your student to think of the big picture and come up with long-term goals for themselves, for the month or for the school year. You may want to invest in a planner for your child where they can plan out their days, weeks, or months to track their progress. Work with your child if you are homeschooling them to see what order they like to work on their subjects, and create a calendar that they can easily reference and follow. Highlighters. Highlighters are good for all students. They are very helpful, and they will help the child to identify the most important parts of where they're reading, or even vocab words. For classes such as history that are very text-heavy, logical learners are not very good in text-heavy subjects. Timelines that list the facts are a great way to keep them engaged. The clean structure and the organization allows them to easily absorb the subject. Encourage your student to pick out common themes and patterns in history. Allow them to use these patterns to get information and have them try to predict what will happen next. That will keep them engaged. To encourage learning as a problem-solving, solution-finding task. If your student appears stuck, ask them questions to prompt learning or encourage them to answer the question among the evidence. Let them to try to find the evidence of that subject or that topic. Whenever possible, try to use classification to help logical learners achieve their learning goals. For example, in geography, you can categorize languages, regions, and heritage to teach the subject to your students. Have your child or student break down large chunks of information into charts and graphs. These learners love making and looking at maps, charts, outlines, and graphs, anything visual. It makes the subject easier for them and they will understand it better. For students that are struggling to write, have them create an outline for themselves. This will help them pan out the smaller details into the bigger picture ideas. Now, math and science are typically subjects that these learners excel at due to the detailed procedure-based nature of these subjects. However, logical learners may still struggle in these subjects when given word-heavy text, such as they have to read a text in science. So we need to break down the large paragraphs into smaller sections that are easier for the students to understand. And also they may have trouble with math problems, because in math problems it's text and they'll understand just the basic equation easier than they will understand the math problems. So break it down for them so that they can understand how to solve the problem. Okay, this is the end of our lesson on logical learners, and I will hopefully see you in the next lesson. And thank you for listening, and have a great evening.